This little video just trying to be helpful for people deciding what maps to run. I'm using a Lowrance HDS 7, HDS Live 7, but that doesn't matter so much. This look basically the same on the Hook 2, which I upgraded from. But alright, so this is currently a downloaded file from. It's actually not Grand Lake, it's Lake Lansing. So this is Lake Lansing, and using a file from CMAP's Genesis. No, CMAP's maybe it's a Genesis, but it's a social map. So you go. How it works is you go to the map online. You see everything, but then you can zoom in. You pick the map of the lake you want. You download it, and then it has all the contours, foot by foot, pretty much. I've set a shading for everything less than 5 feet, just so I can avoid hitting my prop. But so it's really clear and detailed as far as depth and what areas. You know, 1 foot contours, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5. Real detailed. But the problem is like you have to load each lake individually. So if I touch on like Narrow Lake, for instance, all map information disappears. This is all just stuff I've tagged on it. So now I can switch back to that. Now, if I use the Navionics, which I plugged in the Navionics card that I pulled from my Hook 2 7. No, 5. No, it's a 7. So if I switch. Here, let me zoom in first. Show the detailed difference. I'll just pick a spot right here. Alright. If I switch to Navionics, take a second to load. Not very detailed at all as far as depth. It's like it's around kind of a depth. It's shallower. That's all you get. And like over here, no detail there. But if I switch to the CMAPs, Lake Lansing, downloaded from the Genesis Live, it's got the whole actual shape of that spot there. Or like, it shows this pocket, and there's a hole there and a hole there. I mean, I suppose that sort of thing might be more for fishing specifically, but it could also really help with just making sure you don't hit your prop. So I'll switch to Navionics. So there's a hole, a bump of some sort. I have to zoom in to see if it's lower or higher. Switch to Navionics. Doesn't show that anywhere near that sort of detail. Now, what it did have was, so in the little print, the bass pike, that came listed on Navionics. I put a tag there and saved it as a waypoint, so then I can see it, if I've got the other loaded. Here again, I did the same thing, and I put it right next to where it had it tagged. But now it also, Navionics did have it tagged that there's a boat ramp there. There's buildings, pike bass. Again, I copied all these. So that was kind of cool, but as far as the detail, it's just not there. It's on Lake Lansing. Now if I'm out this far, here too, Grand River. So there's a highway right here. That's pretty much the deepest spot I know of for fishing. Navionics doesn't show a thing. But then switch to Lake Lansing. No, Grand River. Where's that at? Grand River. One-foot contour showing exactly where those holes are, where the depth is, like where, I'm gonna avoid the sides, go right down the middle in general. But then over here, like so if I went over in that section, I'm gonna smash my prop. If I cut right through there, no, I'll be okay. I'll take it, I'll be a little careful, but switch back to Navionics. And nothing. There's water. That's all it shows. So, but the thing is, if I, so say, okay, CMAPS is better, but then I've got to download each individual lake here. Also, the CMAPS is free. All these lakes, I can do all that for free. Now, CMAPS, if you pay, I forget how much it is, $10 a month, $100, I think $100 a year. I think you can select all your lakes and save them as a single file, so then they'll all just show up. So if you just sit there and download, I don't know, I haven't done that, so I can't really speak on that. But I believe that should simplify it. Also, CMAPS, if you pay that $100 a year, you get what's it called? It's like how solid the ground is at the bottom. So then, if you look, I haven't looked into that sort of stuff, but show that. But got detail on there you don't need to see. Doesn't matter, but okay. So here is Lake Lansing. Not Lake Lansing. Got distracted. This is Acosta Lake here, using Navionics. So if I switch to Lake Acosta on CMAPS, again, real detailed. I know how far out I need to go to avoid that. I can cut in here a little bit if I want to, and cut through there if I want to go real careful. And if I switch back to Navionics, that one's actually more detailed than the others. As far as depth, it is more detailed as far as there's sand, marl sand, submerged vegetation. Might want to avoid that so you don't get weeds all over the prop, stuff like that. So it's kind of hit or miss, it looks like, whether things are detailed or not. Let's try another one. Oh, this is an interesting one. So here is Torch Lake, which Navionics actually has quite detailed. I don't know, 20 feet difference, 10 feet. It's actually rather detailed here. So Navionics, that's pretty detailed. Let's see, I was more in this area the last time I went. Down here, there's a boat ramp. I tagged that there. There's a sandbar down here. Now I'll switch. This is Torch Lake. I know Navionics beats CMAPS at this one. So here, I've got no info on CMAPS, but Navionics is way better on this one. So I did that logging right there. Also, I logged some here, but it hasn't updated on live. So, I mean, if I want it detailed, I can go make it detailed myself, but I don't want to pay a whole bunch of